Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
He did it his way. Frank Sinatra, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Frank sounded a lot better.
Hey, well, no doubt. It's the In Wheel Time car show, the most entertaining weekly car talk show in the world. Dale Hulquest from Elite Glass and Trim talks about what he's seeing at the local dealerships and what the NHRA Sportsman class is looking like for 2022. Plus, we have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Thanks so much for being here. It's all good in the hood.
Yeah,
Jeff in his Bernie Sanders outfit.
Yeah, they picked it up.
Let me hear your imitation of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, forget about it.
That's pretty good. Joining us now, live from the upper northeast side, is Dale Hulquest.
I think he's northwest.
Northeast.
Okay.
Proprietor of Elite Glass and Trim. Northwest. How do you think Crosby's northwest?
Oh. I thought he was at the shop.
You're not at the shop. Why would he be at the shop?
He's at his shop.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, and you're not at the shop, are you?
It looks like there's a shop behind him.
Is Chrissy there with you?
Yeah, she was helping him.
She is. Crew chief. My crew chief is right here beside me.
Well, swing that camera around. Let's look at her real quick before she runs away.
It's gotta be quicker.
A little slow there, buddy. Oh, there she is.
Oh, God. I love it.
You're going to be in so much trouble.
I know. Both of them.
Both of us are. Yeah, exactly.
Protecting us. Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, it's great to see you. How have you been?
Great, sir. And y'all?
Well, we've been doing pretty good. Have you redone the shop there? I mean, it looks all so nice and neat and clean and painted up.
Redoing it right now. I've got an electrician that's supposed to be here in about 15 minutes. They're hanging one of those big ceiling fans out here.
Oh, the big ass
I love
fan.
those.
The big ass fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, those are
I
great.
didn't think we could say that. Yeah.
They move a lot of air. We've got them at our shop, and it'll move all the leaves and stuff that blow in the doors all the way to the outside walls.
They'll put them in the corners.
So I kind of teased your appearance on the show by saying to everybody that is this thing running again? How could this possibly be? So we're trying something new here today, and
Don's screwing it up.
No, I didn't touch it, but I didn't know that it was on a loop system. Anyway, that's another story for another day, and we'll tell you about it later. But we teased the broadcast by saying that you were going to come on, and I was going to ask you questions because I know that you visit many of the local dealers on a weekly basis and do a lot of business with them, replacing glass across the Houston area. And I thought you'd be a good man to talk to about how the dealerships are handling no inventory and what's it like in the service department. So first of all, I know that you talk to the dealers themselves. How are they handling it? I mean, I drove by, what was it, over there by the Astrodome, Davis Chevrolet.
Yeah, right there.
Dude, they had 6 trucks. That was about it out there in the front lot. How do you make any money doing that, Dale?
Well, they've replaced their new car inventory. 90% of the dealers that I service replaced their new car inventory with used cars. And so they became very aggressive in purchasing used cars at whatever cost they have to get them on the property. Nobody wants to pull into a dealership that has 6 or 7 cars sitting there. So they are supplementing the new car inventory with used cars, and they've done a great job, all of them.
And that has seriously driven up the price of used cars.
Absolutely. In not just the dealers in Houston, but across the country,
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're all faced with the same situation. They've got more demand than they have supply. And so that's always a good seller's market. It's, and if you need a vehicle, you need a vehicle. And that's, but they're giving more money than any of these used cars have ever been worth in the history of my car buying experiences. I just recently purchased a new truck, and they gave me within $3,000 of what I paid for the truck 3 years ago.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and especially all the miles that you put on a truck.
Sir?
And especially with all the miles that you put on a truck.
It was almost 90,000, 89,800.
Holy cow, that was better than a lease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going
much
to take
much
care
better.
of them, but still, they're looking aggressively for nice late model vehicles, cars, trucks, whatever you have.
So, how are things in the actual service department of these dealerships? I mean, they're not being servicing new cars because they don't have any new cars to sell, and I don't know about warranty work. I mean, how is that all affecting the car dealership? Because let's face it, I mean, the service department is a big chunk of making money at a car dealership and keeping the lights on.
They have a responsibility
That's a
to
fact.
cover
What I've
the
noticed, Don, is that the service departments are probably 85% as busy as they ever were because of the residual business that they've had in the last 6 to 8 years. The vehicle warranty now is pretty common to be 60 months on a lot of different brands.
Right.
And if not more on some of your imports. Some of your Hyundais have lifetime guarantee or 100,000 miles or whatever. But where I've noticed the business drop off significantly is in make ready, because that's where that's where they're making ready the new cars.
Yeah.
But they've also supplemented that with used cars. So they've those guys are preparing late model used cars for the road just as they would a new car. So they're, the dealerships have adjusted their plan of attack, if you will, and they've adjusted well, and they're all, very successful. Just the opposite of what I would have thought. If this market would have changed like that, you would have thought the dealers suffered. In reality, in most cases, they're doing a lot better because they don't have these enormous floor plans to offset their profits. And so they've all become very successful, and they've adjusted well.
Well, I have to tell you, last week we did our broadcast from the Houston Auto Show, actually Houston Auto and Boat Show, which seemed to be very successful, and people liked it, as you can well imagine, because, even car lovers like any other mode of transportation, and especially when it comes to recreational stuff, and the boats were really popular at this year's Houston Auto and Boat Show. But on the other hand, too, there were a lot of manufacturers that didn't show up for various and sundry reasons. Either they weren't producing enough cars to actually have a display, or some sort of a corporate policy when it comes to COVID-19, whatever the case may be. And one in particular was Mazda. And Jeff Haas had brought together a group of cars that he could show under the Jeff Haas Mazda banner.
But had he not been there, Mazda wouldn't have been
correct.
there.
Had he not been there, Mazda would not have been represented at all at the car show. And there are other manufacturers that weren't, major manufacturers now. And have you seen anything in regards to the folks going into a car show like that and going to see a specific brand and go, wait a minute, my brand's not here, and maybe they'll go and say, but I sure do like that one. We call them conquest buys for the brand. Have you witnessed or heard of anything going on like that?
Just as recent as yesterday, Don, I had a longtime friend and customer of mine call and tell me that he went to the auto show to look for a specific vehicle, and it wasn't there.
Oh.
And by choice, he decided to purchase something else and ordered one while he was there, or made the contact and then finished up the order Monday morning.
Right.
Of a different brand.
On a different brand. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's a huge mistake, I think.
He's been a long-time loyal supporter of the brand that he was going there to look at, and it wasn't represented well, or at all. And so he decided to make a change.
Yeah, if you can't get what you want, you're going to pick out something else.
So what's going on in the glass world? What's some of the latest technologies you guys have to struggle through?
I guess supply, Conrad, is our biggest issue. Some of the glass that we supply dealers with, and used car dealers in most cases, is not original equipment. And even though the original equipment glass supply is suffered somewhat, the aftermarket glass supply has suffered the biggest change and delay in receiving the glass to the distributors. And we just had our biggest supplier, and the nationwide biggest auto glass supplier is a company called Migrant that has 85 warehouses throughout the country.
Wow.
And they opened a very large one in Houston last March, and their computer system has been down for almost 10 days, and they were sending representatives by because we do purchase about 30% of our glass from them, and they were telling us what their exposure was in lost revenue for the daily, and it's several $1 million a day that they've been losing for over 3 weeks because their computer system's down. But to answer your original question, the glass supply, the aftermarket glass supply has suffered, some delays where we were getting deliveries, within 4 hours. Now it's 2 to 3 days. And if the glass is available at all, sometimes we have several parts that are on 2 to 3 week back order right now, waiting on glass. We just made a list, and as they come in, we check the people off the list, call them, and make sure they haven't acquired a glass someplace or, changed their mind or sold the car or whatever, and then we'll go out and put the glass in.
Yeah, there's not that many, truly glass suppliers out there that give them that many choices, though, are there? Besides OE and maybe 2 or 3 others that are selling to everybody.
The way we market ours is there's 3 brands of glass. There's OE, L brand, and aftermarket. OE is exactly what it says in the name. It's original equipment. The branded glass or the non-branded glass, the L brand we call it, is still made by the original equipment manufacturer, but it doesn't have the logo on it. For Carlite for Ford or the Ford logo, it won't have the Safeguard for Mopar or whatever the vehicle brand is. It won't have the Pectin or the logo on it, but it's still made by the original manufacturer. And then you have the glass that comes from China or Mexico or wherever it comes from, depending on the brand, and that's aftermarket. And it certainly is price reflective.
Very much so. Yeah,
quite a bit less.
Have you seen any kind of a drop in quality of that aftermarket base level glass because of the pandemic or anything like that?
I really haven't, Don. There's always they have of course DOT inspects all glass before it ever enters the country or as it enters the country, and make sure that it meets their quality standards. Is there an issue every now and then? Sure there is, but just because of the sheer volume, I believe. But I haven't noticed, and we haven't, as at Elite Glass, we haven't noticed any significant changes in the quality of the glass that we're getting from any manufacturer. Certainly not OE or L brand. And I guess the question would be the aftermarket glass, and I haven't noticed a big difference in that.
So Elite Glass only does automobiles. There's no branching out in other aspects of household items or boats or airplanes or anything. It's strictly automobiles.
No, sir. We're not certified to work on aircraft, whether it's trim related and or glass. That's a special certification that you have to acquire. We don't do that. We do also do replacement glass. We're a replacement reglazer, if you will. If you have a storefront or a dealership, we replace a lot of flat glass in dealerships, showrooms, door glasses, office glasses, that type of stuff. We do not particularly, market to the residential market. It just requires some different techniques and I guess.
Wormy sales practices.
Wormy sales practices.
They can always offer you half off, right?
Hey, Dale, we earlier on we were talking about where it was that you got your start in all of this, and what was the name of that dealer in Bel Air that you started at?
Dorsey's Auto
Trim. That's the
we
one.
Were close.
They were talking about it before the air.
Yeah. So anyway,
they had several. There was 5 locations when I left there. Great man. It was unfortunate. What happened. He passed away. But he lived a very full life. A very knowledgeable man. I met him in 1987. Excuse me. I had a body shop here in Crosby and a wrecker service and a little small used car lot. And the gentleman that sold me my glass for my body shop and the used car lot, his parents owned a glass company, and I went to work for them for a very short time, and made a contact with Dorsey through just running into him at we were both at the same customer trying to solicit him for glass, and we kind of hit it off, and he told me that if I decided to ever make a change, to call him when the people I work for offered me the opportunity by not paying me anymore, so I called him up. They gave me that opportunity.
Yeah, that's funny.
90 days.
So when did you hook up with Conrad?
I met Conrad
87,
at Dorsey's
88?
Trim and Glass. I mean, excuse me, at Ron Kraft in Baytown, I believe. He was an Oldsmobile rep, if I'm not mistaken, or General Motors rep.
Yeah, way back when they were off of, was it Garth? Not Garth.
No, North Main, 3401, North Main in Baytown.
Let's shift gears here, so to speak, and talk about drag racing real quick. And how are things looking for you in the sportsman class of NHRA?
Well, it's certainly a new year. We're all in the same position right now. We're all in first place. So
There you go.
Yeah.
until February the 23rd, we'll all show up that have their stuff ready. We'll all show up in No Problem Raceway in Belrose, Louisiana, and get it kicked off. And I believe 2 to 3 weeks later, we all end up in Oklahoma in Noble, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thunder Valley.
And then we come back to Houston for a couple races. Yeah, divisional and a national.
Yeah. And how are you paired up against the Emmons brothers and Stan Holt and all of that? How does that all work out?
You certainly think you have an equal chance with all these people, but by saying that the way I did, now we're going to be running against the world champ is based out of Houston, Texas now, or Pasadena. Jerry Emmons won the world championship.
Oh, yeah.
And did a phenomenal job. But all of his brothers are tough. I mean, there's not anybody out there at a racetrack that cannot win if you don't do your best. And sometimes you do your best and they just have a career pass. You just don't know what's going to happen. So you just I always figure the person that makes the least mistakes is the one that's light is going to come on at the end of the track. You don't have to be perfect. You got to be better than the other guy.
Yeah.
So, is the car and the motor all ready?
Everything's ready. We're ready to go. There's one sitting here beside me, the Cobalt. We're making a change to the temperature gauge for some reason. Went bad. We call it the banana syndrome. These race cars will break just sitting there. And I've got a new autometer gauge that came in yesterday via one of the suppliers, and so we're going to change that out today and put it in the box. The box is right here behind me, or in front of me. And take the Camaro out, and we're going to make a rear-end leaf spring change in the Camaro, and we're going to test it once before we head to Belrose.
What are you trying to accomplish with the leaf spring change?
We went to a stiffer leaf spring to set the ride height of the car, and what we accomplished is hurting the 60 foot about 400s, and in the way the car leaves. Now the car spun a few times. So it's not letting the car plant all the weight on the rear tires like it needs to.
So you're looking to get a little bit of spring wind in it now?
A little more weight transfer.
We want it to wrap up a little instead of being so stiff where it just tries to blow the tire off, because it's not spinning at the initial hit. It goes out 10 or 12 feet, and then it starts to spin. Excuse me. So we're going to put the original springs back on that were working great, but I heard about the latest, greatest trick, and it
and spent some money on it, figured out, that didn't work. Let's go back to this.
There's always the latest and greatest trick. Hey, do you take both cars with you when you go?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Everywhere we go, we have a trailer here in front of me that is called a stacker. You put one car in there, and then you hit a button, and it raises up, and you put another one underneath it.
Okay.
And then we hook onto it with our traveling hotel room, and we go on down the road.
Okay.
Great.
Traveling hotel
room, yeah.
That's a way to.
That's a one way to.
Some of those can be extremely nice hotel rooms.
Yes, they are, and trust me, Dale's is very nice, and it's right up there with Stan and Sheila's, and do you ever run across Fred Henson anymore?
We do. We run across Fred at almost every race, and wish him the best. Hopefully, we'll see him in Florida. Hopefully, we'll see him in Belrose here in a few weeks.
Well, if you talk to him or see him, you tell him I said hello. And I think that this year I'm going to make it a point to walk the pits and go see Fred and you. And because, my limited time over there usually goes to Stan and Sheila. And once Stan starts talking, you know how that goes.
Yeah,
wouldn't have anything to do with the liquid refreshment they offer either.
That's right, and it's always good.
He's a man of many experiences and stories.
yes, it is, and I love getting together with you guys. You know that, and
it's you guys out there again. I mean, the Emmons are always there, and they're in their fleet of race cars, and there's just a lot of local folks that will certainly always like to sit and visit and talk about their hot rods. So
we need to get us a golf cart so all of us can go in the golf cart and make the rounds, kind of like the Avon lady used to do.
Or one of those pedal carts they have in Austin that it's a bar, you just kind of pedal it around.
That's everybody. It. Yeah, the bar part is really good. Dale,
I like the cart idea better. It's motorized.
Yeah, don't we all? It's great to talk to you and see you, my friend.
It's always good to see you guys.
Always good to see you
out at the races when we come back to Houston.
Okay, are your reflexes really fast right now?
I think so.
Let me see Chrissy real quick. Well, where'd she go?
As soon as you got through saying that, she took off.
One of these days.
I don't know how I caught her. She's pretty quick.
Well, give her my love. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
We'll do it. It's always good to talk to you guys. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, man. It's like us. We get to meet and see each other once a week and mess around. We do the mess around.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Mess around. Yeah,
there's always
it's good to see people, on an interval.
Yeah.
And Dale's always fun to talk to.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Okay, I don't know exactly where we are in the show because I didn't turn the page. But I know I can see that the camera's on. Thank you, Jeff, and it's fine. You can leave whatever you want to do over there. I don't really care. Makes no difference to me. And so apparently he's going to go have some sort of a powwow with Mars, and I'm not exactly sure what that's about either.
I think he's messing with a camera.
He's messing with something.
I thought Mars could mess with the camera from his phone, but
we need to have the song queued up. Do the mess around.
Oh gosh, we'd be playing that the whole time.
I know.
We get kicked off of Facebook. We'd be playing it so
much.
And
the funny thing about it is, I've been getting these notices from Facebook that we've, violated some sort of rule that they have, and it keeps popping up on my Facebook account.
Means you probably posted a picture that you weren't supposed to.
I guess, but who's to know? It came from Facebook, and if I just shared it with somebody, how am I supposed to know?
That's how people get put in Facebook jail, Don.
Well, apparently we're in Facebook jail, kind of. It's kind of like the slap on the back of the hand.
You are.
Well, there is that. All right, a couple of stories making auto news headlines today. Tesla, of all people, is recalling 817,000 vehicles in the U.S. because an audible alert may not activate when a vehicle starts and the driver has not buckled their seatbelt.
Yeah.
Good.
It's that ding, ding, ding that says, put your seatbelt on.
It's enough to drive you insane.
But they've recalled it because of it.
I know.
But Tesla, I'm sure Tesla, they'll just internet into your car, make the adjustment.
Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Some of the vehicles from 21 to 22 Model S's, Model X's from 17 to 22, Model 3, and the 20 to 22 Model Y vehicles, Tesla will perform in what they call an OTA, over-the-air software update to address the issue.
Which is really pretty nice considering.
Yeah, you don't have to take it
You don't have to take it into the dealership and struggle with that.
I guess you have to agree to it or something. I don't know what you do. Anyway, there are other recalls. Rear windows may operate unexpectedly on the Kia Cadenza from the 2020 model year. It's being recalled, as well as these. Electrical connector under the dash may corrode on the Nissan Rogue from 2014 through 2016, and we don't like corroding connectors. Fuel pump may fail in the Mitsubishi Outlander for 2022.
That's not good.
I like it when these guys here don't even realize that we are really on the air, and they just carry on a conversation, and it just bleeds right on over into the on air.
The people in the background, they kind of hear the mumble of the background. They don't necessarily hear Mars is screaming and yelling at Jeff.
But Jeff and Mars are.
So I heard Stellantis is recalling 202,000 Ram heavy-duty pickup trucks.
You can't do that because the camera's not on you; it's on me. So you're just going to Don't touch it.
Because of a nut loose behind the wheel?
Because of a nut loose behind the wheel. So let me do this, and when we get back, we'll get back to you with yours.
Yes,
Let me finish this.
Yes, sir.
The Kia Forte Coupe, the Sedona, the Soul, and the Soul EV from 2017 to 2019, well, it has a problem. The airbags may not deploy. So it's being recalled, or they are being recalled. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Well, and just give it a couple of years and they'll recall it because it's probably got a Takata airbag in it too. So not only are we going to recall the electronics version of it, we're going to recall the mechanical piece of it. Always check your car for recalls.
Yeah, and you go to safercar.gov. G-O-V. And type in your VIN number. How many? 17?
17 digits.
A 17-digit VIN number, and it will say whether your car is under recall or not. And it makes it very easy, and you can find your VIN number on your insurance card when you're supposed to carry with you at all times. Who does that? I don't know. U.S. safety regulators on Tuesday said traffic deaths rose 12% in the first 9 months of 2021 to 31,720 people dead because of a car accident. Highest number killed on American roads in that period since 2006. Why? Mainly because
everybody got back on the road after the pandemic.
Well, yeah, and they're still speeding a lot. What is it that's going on over there? Is that damn camera again that's causing?
That's the GoPro. They're replacing the GoPro.
It's the same camera that causes all these issues every weekend.
Well, but they're fixing it now. They're putting up an iPhone camera.
Yeah, that's just great. And I've got a story that I'm going to do next hour. The headline of the story is former manager of Texas dealership arrested on sexual assault charges. Wow. At the dealership.
No comment. Because anything I say will just get me in trouble.
Yeah, it will. So just shut up and we'll all live through this.
But if I was going to say something, no, I won't.
Please don't. All right. Well, that's it for this segment of the In Wheel Time Car Show. We're going to take a quick break now, and we are going to continue our show when we do the next break.
You stalling for a couple of seconds of time.
I hit the button and it's got some other. Okay, there it is. Okay, I've got too many things going on here, so just forgive me and hang tight with us because we'll be right back after these fine messages.
Houston, we have a date. Saturday, March 19th, 2022. It's the premiere of the all-new Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you are invited. Tailpipes and Tacos kicks off a new seasonal format, and first up is the Spring Cruise-In at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Saturday, March 19th. Tailpipes and Tacos will award trophies for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic, so make plans now. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in, and this one brings it all together for Spring 2022. You'll enjoy seeing the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, along with Lupe Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no fee, and you can automatically compete for custom Lupe trophies. It all happens at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for the all-new Spring Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 19th. Spectators are welcome. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. Let's celebrate the arrival of spring and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos, March 19th. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.